All right, welcome. Thank you guys so much for tuning into today's video. Today I'm going to be covering the weekly market outlook for January 20th till January 4th, 24th, 2025. And let's get right into it. So usually whenever I do these, weekly market outlooks, I always tend to take a look at it starting from the dollar, right? So with the dollar here coming into this week, I don't necessarily have a bias, or it's not really clear to me, right? The way that we created this weekly candle here on the dollar here, this weekly candle, it is it isn't really like, it's not giving me a clear direction. Um like I can't give a clear narrative for lower prices, and I can't really give a clear narrative for higher prices. So I would decide to, or I'm gonna elect to sit on the sidelines here, at least on the dollar, because I am not too sure where prices wants to go on the weekly time frame. However, on the daily time frame, based on this daily candle right here, this up close candle, I can anticipate for prices to take out previous day high and possibly, continue higher. Let's take a look at the 3 day high. So 3 days, 2 day. Let's take a look at the 6 day as well. Okay. So I don't really have a bias here coming into dollar, but I do want to see us take out previous day high here coming into Monday. Well, Monday is like a half day because we are celebrating Martin Luther King's Day, I believe, and we have a bank holiday here. So either we could probably we're probably gonna take out previous day high here on Monday in the morning and then consolidate. But yeah, afterwards, I mean, I'm just gonna have to just continue to rely on the daily time frame for some sort of higher time frame buys, because I can't rely on the weekly time frame. I do want to draw your attention to is this 2 week time frame, right? What this I guess bi-weekly candle is telling me here is that this fair value gap that we created here on the 2 week time frame. So each one of these candles represents 2 weeks of time, and this fair value gap here was created. And with the way that we closed here last, I guess, the previous 2 week candle, the candle's closure here, this blue line is above. I'm gonna make this a red line. So this blue line is above the red line, which means that this fair value gap here is going to be treated as a breakaway gap, meaning I'm not gonna anticipate for prices to take out previous week's low here, but I can't make a clear case for higher prices because there isn't much displacement, right, on the 4 hour, or like on the daily time frame or the 4 hour time frame. There's no displacement here on.
Nó được con là Thanh.
Không biết ba mặc ba không biết.
Ba không mặc.
Chứ ba khép cửa cho được không, please?
Hả?
Ba nói là ba đóng cửa cho con được không?
Ba hỏi
Con, đó không phải của con. Ba mặc nó được, ba đóng cửa cho con được không?
Cũng làm là sao ba không biết?
Thank you. But yeah, I am anticipating for. I would. Sorry, I lost track of what I was talking about here. But I am anticipating for prices here to take out previous day high. But afterwards, like I said before, no displacement, so I can't make a clear argument for higher prices. So no buys here coming into the dollar. I would like to rely on the daily time frames for some sort of bias, right? Some sort of higher time frame bias. So coming into here on the NQ and ES. On NQ, let's take a look at the weekly time frame. So this is the weekly candle right here, right? This up close candle right here. And with the way that we close here on this weekly candle, I can anticipate for the next weekly candle to create the open, manipulate lower into some sort of lower time frame PD array to attack previous week's high. After we take out previous week's high, we should anticipate, or we should expand higher to attack the bi-weekly high. And the sole reason for that sort of perspective here on prices is power of three, right? What can we anticipate for this next weekly candle to do at least? I can anticipate for previous week's high to be taken. Because, like, if you guys just take a look at it, this is an up close candle, and we can at least anticipate for the weekly high to be taken, right? And if I switch over to the bi-weekly time frame, what is this bi-weekly time frame telling me right now? That we're most likely going to attack previous week's high or previous bi-weekly high. And this is the high I'm talking about right here. 21,897. And let's take a look. Let's go back to my 4-hour candle or 4-hour chart. 21,897. So what I'm anticipating here next week, I'm gonna draw it again. We open up somewhere around here. We manipulate lower into some sort of lower time frame PD array. We take out previous week's high, right? Because previous week's high is already the objective for the next week. But we should continue to go higher to attack the bi-weekly high. Why? Because, like I said, I showed you guys that this is that bi-weekly candle right here. It's bullish, suggesting that we're most likely going to attack this high right here, 21,897. So my objective, my bias here coming into NQ is higher prices until we take out previous week's high, and if we continue higher, we should take out the bi-weekly high as well. So higher prices here on NQ, and we also have SMT here between ES and NQ at the low on November 19th, 2024, and the low of January 13th, 2025. So there is SMT. ES did end up taking out November 19th low, and NQ did not. So that could represent some sort of larger, higher time frame SMT. And SMT or a swing low or a swing high will always be accompanied with SMT. So this is good that we created SMT, because if we're going to continue higher here, it's reasonable for us to have SMT there. And coming in, or I guess going into here on ES, I have the same theory here. This weekly time frame, this weekly candlestick here on ES, I'm anticipating the same thing here. I want to see us open up relatively around here somewhere, and then I want to see us manipulate lower coming into Sunday's opening, some Sunday's opening bell, and possibly Monday, like early morning of Monday. And I want to see us manipulate lower, and then I want to see us take out previous week's high. And the previous week's high is this. I'm going to mark it as a green line. So this green line right here is previous week's high. And I want to see us take out that green line, and I want to see us expand higher towards the bi-weekly high too. So let's go to the bi-weekly time frame. So take a look at this 2-week or this bi-week candle right here, right? It's a bullish candle, suggesting that we're most likely going to take out that level at 6,068 and a quarter. So I want to see us take that high out. So my objective here coming into this week on ES is higher prices until we take out previous week's high and bi-weekly high. So both NQ and ES, I want to see higher prices. I want to see us take out those bi-weekly highs as well. I'm actually thinking about taking a model here, or taking a trade here actually, once we open up on Sunday. Because like I said, the daily time frame here, notice how this daily high is the same high as previous week's high. And like I said, like as I told you guys before, my weekly objective is previous week's high. So here, previous day high and previous week's high is the same high. So I'm anticipating for Monday Monday's price action to take out previous week's high. So I want to see us complete the weekly objective here on Monday. And then why should we, the idea of a higher time frame objective is why should we be continuing higher or lower in a certain direction? Why should we continue to go lower or higher, right? And in this case, we should continue to go higher to attack the bi-weekly high, right? And like I said, this model here, higher time frame objective, is the bi-weekly candle, the bi-weekly order flow. It's suggesting expansive order flow, right? We should be expanding towards the bi-weekly high after we take out the weekly high, if that makes sense. And I mean, it's a pretty easy setup. We have a model. The model is based on the weekly time frame. Not only are we, so we're not, I guess we are using the weekly time frame, but more specifically, we're using the daily time frame because the daily high is the same high as previous week's high, which means this is the idea called scoping, and we're able to scope into the daily time frame to take our entry pattern the model, and this means that we should complete the weekly objective within the next day. And I'm going to allow us here till Monday at 11:59 a.m. I'll give us about, let's see, from the start of 16, so 16 till 8, about 19 hours. I'll give us about 19 hours or so to complete the weekly objective and for us to expand towards the 2-week high. And if we don't do that, then it's completely fine. But like I said before, I have my higher time frame objective, I have my model, and my entry pattern is this 10-hour fair value gap. So we're going to create this fair value gap here on the 10-hour time frame. And the way that we're creating it is telling me that we're most likely going to rebalance this inefficiency, because where do we close here on this 10-hour candle? This is its closing price, and this is the second fair value gaps candle's high. So that green line is actually below the red line, meaning that this BISI here could be rebalanced, and I'm anticipating for prices to respect this fair value gap, to respect the weekly time frame to continue. Okay, to continue higher. So yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for my weekly analysis, and I did give you guys a little trade breakdown as well, because this is a trade that I'm going to take coming into literally in about like I'll say 17 minutes or so. So in 17 minutes, once we open up, I'll set up the trade, and I'll enter it, and I'll just let prices do its thing. If we get stopped out, I can't control that. I can't control whether or not I execute or not. And one of my something I'm trying to work on is executing on models that present, right? Literally in this trade that I'm seeing here, everything that I'm looking for is present. An entry pattern, a model, a higher time frame. I'm able to explain it to you guys, and I'm able to identify it. So I'm going to choose to take it, and I'm going to put some risk on the line. And yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning into today's video. And until next time, be safe.